is Mitch, and welcome to the 1000houses.com podcast. I'm here with Jerome Maldonado, and he's over out in Albuquerque, New Mexico, I believe, but he's from San Antonio. He's got a unique concept. I haven't talked a lot about this, if ever, on my podcast. It's how to buy land and build on it. You know, and so you have a giveaway. You're giving away a book on 14 steps on how to buy land and build a house. But it doesn't have to be a house, like you said. It's just how to buy land and build. You know,
it is. It is the process.
I did this too. I was picking up all these little lots around San Antonio that were behind in property taxes for like $1,000 or $2,000, and I was going and I was building the exact same house. Because the lots weren't contiguous, I could build the exact same house on every single one of these lots. And I did it all over San Antonio. I did about 25 houses right during the recession. Like you said, I was keeping my crews busy. The cool thing about building the same house just on a different lot was that I knew exactly how many 2x4s it was. And if someone showed up with a bid for more 2x4s than the last one, it was like, you know, you're padding my bill. You know, I knew. We built the exact same house 25 times in a row around San Antonio and sold it. And it was a great experience. It just, you know, it wasn't the business for me, but I experienced it. My good friend, Ken D'Angelo, the late founder of We Buy Ugly Houses, you know, Homevestors. He said,
Fred DeLuca was partners with that.
Yeah. He said, an entrepreneur rarely ends up with the business that he starts. He's always morphing to the most return on the least resistance, and he hardly ever ends up with the business that he started. And so I found that to be true in my case.
Yep.
A lot of times you're talking about it. Just remember that as an entrepreneur, when you open up that business, it's going to lead to something else probably. And be open-minded about looking at it. Tell us about your ebook, How to Buy Land and Build a House.
Sure. So I put it together. We were getting a lot of outreach on people wanting to learn how to do what we were doing. We do what we do now, Mitch, is we still buy land and build houses. We've kind of graduated from it, but we're still doing it. We started documenting the process for everybody that was working with us on an educational platform basis. But we actually we buy land and we build apartment complexes now. We do an affordable housing model. And so people want to understand like how we're doing this, right? And I've set it up based on stuff that I learned through the recession. You know, how to, what asset classes sell, how to make sure that we're in an asset class that's going to continue moving forward, even in a compressed market. Everything gets compressed, Mitch, in a compressed market. I mean, you're going to take profit margin cuts no matter what. And so when the payday is high, you roll with it. You just take it all in, you know, and when the tide's low, you can still go surf. You can still go surf, right? You're just not getting the big waves. And so real estate and business is the same exact thing. And so when I talk about buying land and building houses, it's a business model that we've lived through thick and thin since the late 90s all the way through today. So we've been able to see peaks and valleys, hard times and great times, and we've been blessed to do so. But to protect ourselves against the future and the unforeseen circumstances, we build a lot of affordable housing models in the apartment sector. We go in and we build a Class A product, and we do it in an affordable housing model. We cut out all the amenities, and we teach people how we're doing what we're doing, right? What amenities to cut out, which ones to keep, how we can go and build a Class A product and rent it for Class B prices. And that way, if the market ever compresses, we're not at the height of the market as far as rents. We're just below that. And so all the people in the Class A that have to downscale in a compressed market will come to our stuff. Our stuff will remain full. We'll continue leasing. Our properties will stay full. And so that business model is very, very lucrative and very attractive to a lot of investors, a lot of syndicators.
It's very durable because, like you said, if you can't live in these houses, you're under a bridge.
Yeah,
that's my model. That's where I buy houses and seller finance houses. The theory is if you can't live in my houses, you're under a bridge.
Yep. And it is. And, you know, you could go about the residential sector two different ways, similar to how you did, Mitch, where you buy or how we did even in 2009 and 10 in Phoenix, you buy something that's super affordable that you can lease and keep. But that stuff sells for so inexpensive of prices in a compressed market. There's no profitability on the resale.
With one caveat, Jerome, unless you're owner financing it, and then you can sell over the market. I was selling 100% over the market in 2010. I was buying houses because 27 comps in the neighborhood said this house was worth 27,000 because they were cash comps because the banks weren't loaning. Well, when the bank's not loaning money, the rents are going up because everyone's a renter, because no one's loaning money. No mortgage companies are giving any loans. So everyone's forced to rent for the time being till the banks open up again. And so the rents get pressure on them. So the rents go up. And my sales price was tied to the rents. I just had a formula. I'd back into the rents to find my sales price. And in the recession, the rents were going up. And I had the only appreciating house in the state of Texas, or maybe in the nation at the time, because I was offering owner financing at a payment that was equal to the rent payment, and the rent payments were going up. So I wanted to point out that dynamic. If you're seller financing your houses, your price will go up with the rents.
So Mitch, that's a perfect, I always, whenever talking to people, and I'm talking to in educating students on this, I always talk to them about worst case scenarios, right? And that right there, what you just said, is their worst case scenario, right? So you're in a compressed market. If for some reason you can't sell the property, well, if you can't sell it in a traditional manner, you can either lease it, or if you have ownership of it, you can owner finance it. And it's kind of like drive time. The car dealership drive time, right? The ugly duckling, they used to be called ugly duckling. That's their business model. You can't go on their lot and buy a car cash. They won't sell it to you. Their business model is exactly like Mitch just explained. You go in, they make their money on the owner financing. They finance the car for you at a premium interest rate, at a premium price, and they make their ROI on selling at an escalated price to people typically with compromised credit. And so in a compressed market, typically there's a lot of people that have either bad credit or bad circumstances, and they need something like that. And so what we do is, when we're buying land, building houses, we don't build in the lower end where it's the median. Like right now, the median single family homes right around $350,000. So I tell our students, don't build there. That's a great place if you're going to buy and hold and keep, but we build just outside of that, just over that cusp. That way we have more profitability. And if anything gets compressed, we can lease, rent, or owner finance it, just like Mitch explained. So that's a great explanation, Mitch, to what we're teaching people on the contrary.
What I learned is, if there is such a thing, and I don't want to make the statement that anything's recession-proof. I don't want to make that statement. But if there is such a thing as a recession-proof business, the affordable rentals and the affordable owner finance homes are probably two of those businesses. They boom in the bad times, and they do pretty good in the good times. So when is it you go broke? If you're doing pretty good in the good times and you're booming in the bad times, when do you go broke? You go broke if you over leverage.
Yep.
You go broke if you don't have integrity, because lawsuits will kill you. Yep. And you'll go broke if you don't conform to some state and federal guidelines, probably. So if you can manage those three things in either the buy and hold business or the seller finance business, you probably will never have a downtime.
Yep. That's correct.
That's my humble opinion, for better or for worse. And believe me, I do not have a degree from any economic highly rated college. I graduated from La Calle U. How's your Spanish?
My Spanish is okay. Not great, but it's
La Calle
okay.
means the street. I graduate from the street university, the most expensive university in the world. It will kick you up and down. It will spit on you. It will take everything you have. There is no cap on how much the street university will take from you. It will take everything you have. There's no max. And that's where I graduated from. And it's been kind of worth it. But let me say this. To those of y'all that want to go out and try to build a house on your own, and you don't want to get consult from somebody who's done it before, or build a strip center or whatever, you're going to pay the street or you're going to pay the consultant. That's right. Believe me, because learning how to do something the first time you're going to go do it is not free. I don't care what you think. You may not write a check to a consultant and you think, well, I don't need to pay that. You're going to write a check to the street, and either mistakes made, lawsuits, money that you left on the table because you just didn't know about things. One way or the other, you're going to pay for the education. So whether it's Mitch for seller financing or Jerome for how to build your first strip center or apartment complex or house. If it's not us, pick somebody that's been doing it, that's doing it, and please get the benefit of their years of experience, because it's going to be way cheaper, in my humble opinion, than the mistakes you're fixing to make. Because some of
Your
those
humble opinion. Your humble opinion is dead on.
It cost you so much that you'll get out of the business. And I can raise my hand and testify. I almost got out of the house flipping business because I made mistakes early and it crushed me. I didn't have a cushion and I lost. And now I'm behind the 8 ball. And I almost got out of the business in a career that I didn't know it yet, but was going to make me millions. And I almost got out. And if I'd had a coach, they would have never let me do what I did. It was a stupid mistake, it was an amateur mistake, and it almost cost me. I almost had to get out of the business. I mean, do you study? Have you paid a lot of courses? I mean, I paid a lot in courses and stuff in my lifetime. What about you?
Yeah. I still invest in continuing education, mostly to be around the right people and so forth. I have my whole life. I mean, when I started in network marketing back in 1993, Mitch, that was what my sponsor told me immediately. I said, "How do I do this company?" She goes, "Get trained." And that's what I did. I've gotten trained my whole life. I have a backpack literally in my closet that I keep with every tag and every lanyard that I've ever been to, every training. And I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them and thousands. And I still learn from the streets. I still had to go and learn from the streets. I've had the lawsuits. I've pounded my head against walls. I've left money on the table. I've still had to figure it out the hard way, in spite of all that. So a little mix of both, and I'll tell you that I've had more success than I've had losses, for sure. I thank the good Lord, and we've had a good run. We've been blessed, Mitch. I'll tell you that kick in the ass that I had in 1997 was enough to straighten me out in a good way. And then I got kicked in the teeth in 2008, but in a different way. And I was thankful to have the buildings, the cash flow, and the diversified income. That's what kept us alive. Because if I would have went through 2008 like I went through 1997, I went to learn through it, I would have went completely out of business. And through the hair on my chin, I got through 2008 really well, and we've been blessed. We've had a good life outside of about 4 really hard months in January 2009, December 2008, moving to like April of 2009. We got through it with flying colors, and we were able to pivot because of our diversification. So we've been blessed. It's been a good run.
All right. I want y'all to get to know Jerome Maldonado. I want you to get his 14-step ebook on how to buy land and build a house. Check it out. It's free. Go to 1000houses.com/build on land. Build on land. Real easy. You got nothing to lose. Also, you'll learn a whole lot more about Jerome and his company and his educational products over there. You'll be in the show notes when you go to 1000houses.com/build on land. And everything that we've talked about here, or anything you want to know, do you have a podcast? Do you have some other stuff that you can put over there? Are you going to have information about your course on being a builder? Anything else I'm leaving out, Jerome?
No, we'll give him what we'll do is we'll give him an ebook. And what I'll do also, Mitch, on top of that, is I have 3 mini courses that are short 20-minute mini courses. They'll love those. I'll throw 3 mini courses in with that for free. And we have an evergreen webinar that they can watch on the process of what we do on buying land and building houses. And I'll throw anybody who watches the podcast. I know you have a great following and great people that are part of your podcast. We'll just include all that.
That's really great, man. Thanks. So he's not just also doing the 14-step ebook, but he's going to throw in 3 mini courses. Let me ask, I'm going to guess that this information could probably help a guy just not build from the ground up, but could probably help a guy with a major remodel on a house. Would it work for that guy too?
Yep. It'll help for anybody doing value add, big syndication, apartment complexes, or small little fix and flip rehabs. The process is, there's some process differences, but the concept is all the same.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was going to guess. All right. And I would like to thank livecom.com, LIVECOMM.com, for sponsoring this episode. I have gotten my days on market down to 4 days on the market with my seller finance homes. I'm more than happy to tell you how that works, but you can go to livecom.com, watch the video on the homepage, and see how I'm using it for that one thing. I use Livecom for a lot of things. They are smart phone numbers that capture the incoming caller's cell phone number, But beyond that, and that's not original, but beyond that, it's the education on how to use it, how to use this lead generation system to magnify and not have to go out and look for jobs or buyers or sellers every day of your life, to have them coming in and raising their hand so that you can contact them. And that's what LiveComm's all about. LiveComm.com. Check it out. Also, I've had some new additions to my books lately. You know, I had my first 3 books, My Life in 1,000 Houses series. And the first one was Failing Forward. And the second one was 200 plus ways to find bargain properties. And then the third one was The Art of Owner Financing. And I was there for a long time. And now I've come out with The Art of Private Lending, because private money has been so important to my business. I thought it would be great to write on this. I am going to write a check on the first of the month to make payments on $26 million worth of private money that I raised and that I'm using to make my fortune with. And I just wanted to talk to people about how I did that, or how you could loan your money yourself. So that's what that book was about. I also have a book coming out, and I can't get my hands on it right now, but it's How to Stop Texas Property Foreclosure Tax in Less Than 1 Hour. And that book's being released here soon. And anyways, check it out. You can go to 1000houses.com and see all my books. That's about it, man. I appreciate you taking the time to come on, Jerome. And I think I've never talked to anybody about this subject, building on land. I think I've done 540 podcasts. I don't think I've ever discussed that. So you are an original.
That's right. I am an original. It's like I tell my mom, I might be your pain in the ass, but I'm an original pain in the ass.
And I'm yours.
That's right. No, and you brought me into this world. So.
Yeah, she could take you out too. That's what my mom said. I said,
well, right.
You into this world? She says, yeah, and I'll take you out.
Oh, she will. She will. Even at 75 years old, she'll take me out.
All right, man. One last time, 1000houses.com/build on land. All right, we're out of here. See you, Jerome.
Mitch, thank you. Appreciate you.
Bye.